Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to do podcasts, 'cause they'll never do Jupiter at night before a live internet audience.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Jupiter at Night. My name is Chris.
My name is Jeremy.
Hey, J-Man.
Ow!
So, I got a couple of things I want to talk about before we get into tonight's episode. A couple of things for the community, a little bit of information for you. Now, we will be talking about the Hulu outage, but we are very aware that not all of you are in the U.S., or not all of you have given us about Hulu. So we're actually going to use that as a jumping point into kind of a bigger story, kind of a bigger conversation.
Something that may have more of an international reach.
Something will have, I think, more of a reach for everybody out there.
Right.
Couple of service announcements first, though.
Oh, all right.
First, I wanted to say...
I didn't know about these.
Apologies. Lotso from last week was supposed to come out on Thursday. It did not get out until Monday, but it's out now. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What were you guys doing, playing video games?
I was sick. I got sick, and
No, I knew that.
Yeah, I was bad.
Right.
Still sick, but better. So what I would like to say is, if you did miss it, it was actually a pretty good episode of Lotso. We covered a lot of news stuff that we've sort of been holding and waiting to really talk about it because we think it makes a difference. That's in that episode, and we'd like to hear what you guys think of sort of a more newsy-focused Lotso, because we're trying to get your feedback on that to see what direction we should go with the show.
My feedback is, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm a video game
now,
news
you had
geek.
something you wanted to say.
Did I?
I think so. You want
Remind me.
about Stoked.
What about it?
That you thought it was going to be a crappy episode.
I did.
And then everybody really liked it. And we were like...
So, you know what? If you watch Stoked, thanks, because apparently everybody loved it this
Talking
week.
about episode 55, the one about building the perfect away team.
I actually thought it was going to be a weak episode. I was editing it together going, oh, they're going to kill me for this.
You know, it's funny, dude, because we split up the editing work now. Really, I get the easier end of it. I do the intro segment, and then you notice we did an intro and math. So that's the meat of it right there. And J-Man here worked on the math, worked his butt off, and... I watched it still in Final Cut because then I took everything together and put the intro together and put all the music in and put it out. And I watched it at that stage and I thought, oh, this is good. This is good. In fact, I watched it, I think, I came down.
It's weird, the bubble I live in, because I finished and I was like, oh, that was bad.
And no, dude, I watched it. I liked that. And then I watched it all together and I thought, oh, this could be a good episode. They're really going to like it. And I put it out and I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait till Jeremy's up because I'm going to tell him what a great episode it was. Because you hadn't seen, only I had seen it. Usually you see the whole thing.
Yep.
But the way the scheduling worked out, I kind of only saw it at the end and I was like, yeah, it's going to be a good one. And it was so funny because when I got on, I was like, so they really like it. And you're like,
and you told me today you've seen it like 5 times now.
Yeah. Anyway, so enough talking about Stoked. Let's talk about Hulu. So over the weekend, there was a bit of a controversy that went down, and I think I can't remember if it happened Friday or Saturday.
It was Saturday, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why here in a sec. But what happened is that News Corp was having a dispute with
owners of Fox, by the way. News Corp.
And also partial owners of Hulu. So it's their own property in a sense, or at least partially. Anyways, the short of it is that Fox's owner, News Corp, was having a dispute with a cable provider in a certain region that affected.
Actually, a pretty big one. Cablevision is a pretty big provider.
It was with Cablevision, and there was some disputes about News Corp's programming on their network.
Right.
That's really not the interesting part. That happens all the time. That's
the core of the dispute, if you're curious, was over basically money.
Yeah,
retransmission fees.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I know I went through something similar. I live in the Seattle, Washington area, and I subscribed for Dish in like November, and then right in December, my local ABC carrier got in a dispute with Dish, and they pulled their programming.
Now, the local provider at that time was playing Lost.
Which I was following.
But also for my brother, the reason that he actually took the route of canceling prematurely, they also aired the Mariners games locally.
Well, they also aired all the local snow coverage, and that was just kind of interesting to watch. And I went through this whole situation where, because of their dispute, I was not able to get access to this content. Now, thankfully, I had other means. I had ABC.com and things like that.
Right.
Now, this case is different in that News Corp reached into Hulu, or so it seems, at some level reached in there and pulled all of their programming. Like that.
All their content was turned off, unaccessible through
just to those customers, just to those Cablevision customers.
Right.
And
also, I don't know if you were going to say this, but also on Fox.com.
Yeah.
Inaccessible on there as well.
Right.
To Cablevision customers.
And they didn't just like block the website. We're not talking like an HT access thing where you got a page could not be displayed or you didn't have rights to it. No, we're talking like Hulu.com loads. You select your episode, you do all that crap.
You even watch the advertisement because Hulu was not controlling the content at this point.
And then you think the episode's loading up, and instead you get this message: "Sorry, you've been blocked because of a dispute, etc., etc."
We'll get it back as soon as possible.
Yeah, we hope to have it restored as soon as possible. I mean, so just think about the level of control there.
Fox was able to reach in to Hulu, just like you said.
Yep.
Or get somebody on the phone, maybe.
Maybe they had something pre-set up, but
and just shut off the content.
It almost seems like on a this is totally speculation, but it almost seems like on a Saturday, in a matter of dispute happens, and then almost immediately, well, within the time span is 2 hours. Within 2 hours, they pull the Hulu access, the Fox.com video access, like that off all these different places.
Basically, well, let's talk a little bit
automated
about the reasons.
almost. It seems almost like Fox hit a button.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, yeah, the back end of it is a little scary because they were able to just yank all their content off the entire internet for people that were using Cablevision.
Which seems like such an insight into the fact that they still are not getting it. Because immediately, people can't get it online, people can't get it from their cable provider. Their only realistic option is maybe Netflix if they haven't reached into there.
Right.
Probably haven't. And the really only, which is interesting, the really only option is to pirate.
Yeah, at that point, if you've got to get your what was it that was on Saturday? There was something big that was like Glee.
Glee, sure.
I don't know. It was some big show like that. It's a
Glee is a Fox show, yeah. And so people in the chat room right now are saying, well, you could buy it on iTunes. You could do something like that. You could do it on Amazon Video Demand. That's bullshit.
When you're supposed to be getting it for free with advertising.
You're paying like $70, $80 a month for cable. Most of us are. I think they say the average bill is like $75. You're paying $75 a month for cable, and then when they shut it off for you, you're expected to go pay for it?
Pay more.
Go buy it on iTunes? Go screw yourselves. Are you kidding? That's not going to happen.
I'm going to go download it.
You pirate it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really going to... Here's what's going to happen, is if they keep making these maneuvers and they keep trying to flex their muscles...
Bilbo in the chat room says the cable bill is $140.
Wow. Does that include internet and like phone services and stuff, or is that just TV? That's incredible. Mine actually at one point was up around there when I had everything bundled in, and that's...
Oh, well, yeah. The big bundles, probably. Yeah. But we're talking,
But then we pared it way down. Like when you get the movies and stuff, you can pirate it or you can buy it. Or you just stop watching it. At a certain point, you go, really? You just are not giving me any options here. I can either steal or I can just stop.
There's a few things that I want to point out on this. One is that the reason they were doing this was basically to pull a power play on Cablevision.
Seems like it.
Saying, well, screw you if you're not going to go by our rules. We'll just make your customers hate you.
Yeah, we're gonna screw you in every hole possible. It's not just enough that we block them on TV. Well, now what are they going to do when they can't watch it on TV? They're going to go over on their little cute computers with their cute little internet connections, and they're going to go over to Hulu.com and they're going to try to watch the show there. But you know what? We're going to block them there too because they're also your customer. And we're really going to screw them in that extra hole when we see that.
When they don't get it, they're going to call you, not us. They're going to call you.
And they're going to put the pressure on you, and then you're going to have to come back to the bargaining table, and you're going to have to pay more.
Right.
And only really what happens is they stay firm on their price because they can only afford so much, and we just get screwed.
I don't think the term dick move is a strong enough statement.
I know.
For this kind of thing.
And so, I mean, yeah, you could pirate it or you just stop watching it. And that's why I'm wondering, and of course this is a very self-serving thought, but I'm wondering if our type of media really won't be the long-term successor because... we're giving it to you in every format possible. This show is in audio, OGG Vorbis. It's in MP3, it's or HD, iPod, whatever format you want for your Android. You can get it in RSS feeds on YouTube. I mean, we're coming
let's be honest, you're not paying us enough,
at you. And it's free. And we're just like download it. That's all we want.
Right.
And it's I don't know. As a consumer, I'm just going to give up at a certain point and just gravitate. And I already have. I watch a lot of the networks out there.
I wonder if big moves like this, I wonder if even if only a handful, let's say 1% of Cablevision customers that were impacted by this went out and said, you know what, I'm done with internet then. Or I'm done with the network television. I'm going to go get all my stuff from independent podcasters and video web series and stuff like that.
Right.
1% of Cablevision customers is probably several tens of thousands of people.
That would be a huge boom.
Yeah. If they're coming to us, so when we give you the little plug at the end of the show tonight to tell your friends, that goes doubly strong for Cablevision customers.
Now there is, of course, you still get screwed. Lifehacker, I wanted to point it out because I've been desperate for somebody to compose a chart of all the different shows you can get online and for what prices. Like if you get it from Netflix or iTunes or Amazon.
Yeah.
And I don't have the link handy. I'll see if I can get it in the show notes.
Okay.
Lifehacker put it together. It's an incredible chart. So if you're thinking about cutting the cable bill and watching some of this stuff through other legitimate means that you can pay for or can get for free, it's an amazing, amazing chart. That'll be in the show notes. So head over to jupiterbroadcasting.com, look for this episode of Jupiter at Night, and you'll see that link there.
Now, some of the international ramifications that we're looking at possibly coming from this is, I don't know if you guys have heard, but NBC and Comcast are looking to merge.
They are merging.
I mean, they're in talks.
I think
to merge.
I think it's happening.
Well, they are under some antitrust litigation over it, so it's not going through. But they're planning to.
Here's their solution to that. This is an article over at The Consumerist. Comcast has been giving.
Love that graphic.
I know. Comcast has given 60% increases in their giving to political different parties or acts or whatever. I don't know what the exact phrase to use there because I don't want to make it sound like donations because it doesn't seem right.
It's basically lobbying.
Yeah, it's lobbying dollars, exactly.
Yeah.
Lobbying dollars. Yeah, I didn't want to call it donations. That's what it is. It's lobbying dollars. And so since the deal
lobbying
with
is really just a nice way to say bribing.
It's how to get it's definitely getting the wheel greased.
Yeah.
So they've been giving 61% more since that deal with NBC was announced.
Yeah.
So you can tell that deal's going to happen.
Right.
It's already done.
Now, interesting note back to Hulu. NBC was already ordered by antitrust litigators to liquidate at least a portion of their Hulu stock because of this merger. And I think that some people are already looking at the concerns over net neutrality of a huge merger like that. Because
I know. We haven't even gone down that route.
I know, and I don't want to too much because net neutrality is just it's a Gordian knot you cannot take apart.
If you guys are interested in that kind of discussion, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, I think maybe we'll. But you're right. It is extremely net neutrality.
Imagine, if NBC at some point decides that they're not getting the right service from somebody else, they also now are going to be providing cable service to a huge. I mean, how big is Comcast? It's gigantic.
Yeah,
they can choose. Like that, to shut off their own content to every Comcast provider.
Not that anybody would shed a tear, but just as an example, what if Verizon Fios here was what I have? Now it's Frontier Fios. What if they partnered with Amazon and they just said, hey, you know what? We're going to do a deal where people will subscribe to an Amazon service through Fios and we'll deliver it to their DVRs. You'll provide the content, and because we're in this partnership now, we're going to give you higher priority packets over iTunes downloads.
Not just that, but maybe lower the priority of everybody else accessing Amazon.
Yeah, or exactly. Yeah, you have to pay to get the faster access to Amazon, or when you pay, you get faster access tiered. Or if you're downloading from Amazon, then the first thing that gets shut down is Hulu and iTunes as far as priority.
Right.
It's interesting implications, and if you guys are interested in that discussion, let us know in the comments. Anything else you want to touch on?
Nope.
No, right.
I mean, basically, the whole story has just got me worried about. I mean, it gets me back to thinking about net neutrality, which I don't like to think about because it makes my brain hurt. So hopefully, these people would get their S together, and the regulators in control will regulate.
Regulate, dude. Well, that 61% giving increase will help with that regulation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for watching tonight's episode of Jupiter Night. If you enjoyed this episode or any previous episode, do us a favor.
That's what I was talking about.
Send it to somebody. Facebook, Twitter it, share it, whatever you do. Blog it, email. That'd be fine.
You're welcome to repost our stuff anywhere.
If you want to tie it to a rock and maybe like the URL, even maybe the bit.ly link, and then throw that through an open door.
Yeah, not a window.
No.
I thought that was what we were going to say.
Or an open window.
Yeah, an open window.
Be sure it's open. Make sure it's not a clean window.
Make sure it lands on a pillow so it doesn't cause any damage.
Yeah. Maybe a foam rock. Anyway,
where are we going with this?
Thanks so much for watching tonight's episode of Jupiter Night, and we'll see you tomorrow night.